Hi guys, in this video I'd like to discuss about self-invoking functions in JavaScript. Now these are also called as IIFE or immediately invoked function execution. I'm inside my JS field window and in the JavaScript tab we'll write some code. So you remember this is how you define a regular function, right? So let's say the function is called do something and then this is the bracket that will take parameters, but in this case we don't have any parameters, right? And then let's say document that right immediately invoked function execution, right? So this is how you define a regular function, and to call this function in JavaScript, this is what you'd have to do. You'll have to write the name of the function and then you'll have to put these brackets here and the function will work perfectly, right? But then if you wanted this function to call itself, which is basically a self-invoking function which you want to talk about in this video, what would you have to do for this function to call itself? So all you have to do is wrap this entire function in these round brackets and then put these two round brackets in front of it. Why these two round brackets? Because let's say if you were to call a function like this function in a normal way, so you would have to write this and then put these two brackets, right, which basically call the function. So you're just doing that right after this function, and then you're wrapping the entire function also in these two round brackets. Now if you run this, then you get the exact same result, which is immediately invoked function execution, right? So that's what you wanted. And now one important thing to note here is that you can also remove this name here, so you don't have to have the name of the function. So as you may remember, in the previous video I discussed about anonymous functions, which basically mean that the functions don't need to have a name. So with the IIFE or a immediately invoked function execution, you can have an anonymous function as well. So it's a combination of anonymous function and IIFE, right? So if you run this, again you get the same result. Now in some cases, in some places in GitHub, when you might be reading JavaScript code, you might see something like this, where there's a semicolon right in front of this function, which is an IIFE, and you'll see a semicolon here. So you don't get confused by this. This is also a type of a syntax which is used for IIFEs and anonymous functions. So if you run this code, nothing changes. It works properly. So this is what I want to so these three examples I want to share with you in this video. If you like this video, then do subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching.